And welcome to another edition of DT Live. So tonight what I'm doing is I am checking out Jitsi. Jitsi is a video conference, video chat platform, very similar to things like Skype, Hangouts, Zoom, Discord, those kinds of platforms. Jitsi, though, is free and open source, and I have looked at it many times in the past, in the last couple of years. And I've never been that impressed with it. It does get better every time I look, like every 6 months I'll look at it, and it seems to get better every time I look at it. I haven't looked at it lately. So I was trying it out tonight. Those of you that are in the YouTube chat, how's the audio? Hopefully Jitsi is set to the correct audio outputs and video outputs. I will say, just spending a few minutes in Jitsi before the stream started, I do have some complaints about it. There are some things that bug me. In many ways, the reason I do Zoom, typically, if I need to do a video call and put it on camera, is Zoom gets a lot of things right. I know it's proprietary software, but there are some issues I have with Jitsi. Those of you that want to join the Jitsi call, I did put the link in the show description so we can get a few people on camera here. Just a short little test stream. I don't know how long I'll go for this. For those of you wanting a desktop client for Jitsi, the one I downloaded, they have an app image. Let me see if I can find the link to the app image. Just do a quick search here. The Jitsi packages that were in the Arch repositories, they have 2 or 3 in the AUR. A couple of them I tried to install using Yay, and they didn't build correctly. So whoever's maintaining those packages needs to take a look, because we've got a couple of people trying to join. While they're trying to join here, I'm going to copy a link to where you can get the desktop client for Jitsi Meet from AppImage. Actually, it's hosted on AppImage Hub. For those that would prefer a desktop client, but of course you can always use the web browser, just join in a browser. I typically like doing desktop clients because of me recording. Sometimes I'm recording, the chat window here, but then I'll have a browser window and I'm recording also like a web browser scene in OBS. And if everything is in the browser, it could cause me some issues where I think
desktop client for Jitsi Meet.
Whoa. Okay. And let's see if I can figure out how to mute some folks.
Desktop client, but of course just join in a browser. I typically like doing desktop because of me recording.
I cannot figure out how to mute anybody here. But if you're going to join the video call, make sure you have earbuds or headphones. Otherwise, the computer audio from your speakers is going to bleed through your microphone, and it's going to cause us some pretty serious issues. So if you don't have earbuds, you can still join, but just mute your audio. And just don't speak to us this evening. Otherwise, it's going to cause us some issues. But I could not figure out where the button, surely I can mute the people on the call. Maybe it's in the little 3 dots here. And the upper right-hand corner gives me the option to mute. Yeah, I can just mute the single person. I can mute everyone, or everyone else but that person. I can kick that person, of course. I can send them a private message. The one thing, okay, so let me go ahead and discuss some of the issues I have with Jitsi, especially since I don't use these kind of video conference programs to chat with friends and family. I would never use these to actually chat with family. I just pick up a phone, right? The only reason I use these is because I have a YouTube channel. Sometimes I do one of these calls and want to record it. And the chat for the video call, the point of having a chat is if I wanted to send Brody, who is trying to join now. If I wanted to send him a message without actually having to say it on camera, I could say it to him privately in a chat, but their chat is not a separate window. Their chat, if I click chat down here, actually shows up in the window here. So if I'm recording, this really needs to be a separate window. So for anybody recording in Jitsi, they don't have to record the chat. So that's one issue I have right off the bat, and that's a pretty big one. I don't like that. The other issue I have with Jitsi, and I have this problem with other people or other of these video conference programs, is for some reason, a lot of them feel the need to mirror your image. You guys see my video is mirrored, meaning it's reversed. It's like you're looking in a mirror. And the reason they do this, they don't do this for everybody that's joining. All of them will look right. It's just the person that started the conference. It's just, well, it's your image. Like you see yourself reversed, but everybody else sees you correctly. But the problem with me recording this conference call is I'm always going to look weird. So, all right, we got some dogs barking. Let's see. Ooh.
Yeah, sorry, that's me as I'm walking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So you're trying out the mobile Jitsi client. I actually didn't think to try the mobile.
I was actually going to try to use the deb, but then, dependency after dependency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, installing it, like I said, I tried to install it from the AUR, and I tried just the regular Jitsi, and then there was a Jitsi Nightly, and there was a Jitsi bin, Jitsi binary. I tried to build like 3 of them, and all 3 would not build properly. It gave me errors. I don't know what the deal with that was. So I just grabbed the app image for Jitsi Meet. It's actually the app image. You can find it on App Image Hub. There's deb packages. For those of you that are on Debian or Ubuntu, there's deb packages, and I believe there is an RPM.
AUR?
It is, but I couldn't get any of the AUR packages to build. So,
is it worth importing into Ubuntu? I'm just curious. What do you think?
Like I said, I tried to install it from AUR. Hey guys, if you don't have earbuds, make sure you put in earbuds, or we're going to have some audio issues. Because your speakers are going to bleed through the mic, so always put on earbuds on these video calls. All right. Yeah, so at least for me, the app image was the way to go. I don't mind using app images. I use snaps, Flatpaks, app images, whatever, as long as it works. The AUR package, though, was broken for me, so... I have a ton of stuff on my computer, though. I have nearly 2,000 packages on my system right now. It's quite heavily bloated, but, I test so much software. I got a million things on this computer right now. Got like 10 different window managers. But, so some of the stuff I don't like about Jitsi, and you guys can chime in. I don't like that you guys that are chatting with me, it's going to appear on screen for everybody to see. Because the chat is not its separate window, so there's nothing private about that chat. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that my image is mirrored. So if I really wanted to do, say I wanted to interview somebody and pre-record it, and we wanted to do the call over Jitsi, their image would look okay, but for my image, I would probably have to just record myself through my camera. And, do 2 separate recordings, basically. Record me in a different program and them in Jitsi for the call. And I've done that in the past. And I don't like having to do that. Zoom, everybody just looks right in Zoom. Another thing I don't like is if I hover over the window right now, if you guys are on multi-monitor systems, if I hover over the screen, like I'm doing right now, and then go to one of my other monitors, the chat, I get another window appearing on this other monitor. And it's showing whoever's speaking right now, which is me. And I have to close that window. It does it every time my mouse passes the screen. It will open up a new window. And if I'm recording and trying to capture a window, that's going to ruin that scene. So I don't know if there's a way to disable that. There's just some weird stuff with Jitsi. You know, it's free and open source software, and I wish I could use it for like my patrons chats and things like that, but I don't know. There's some things that just really tick me off about it when I start using it. So yeah, any of you guys got any feedback or?
You can still set passwords and stuff. Dial in. You know, blur background. I haven't tried with the profile customization, so I can get to my normal icon. You can, of course, share screen if I wanted to.
Yeah, the screen sharing works fine. I haven't tried the blur background. I typically don't bother with this kind of stuff, but if I blur my background,
really drops latency. It's not latency, just bandwidth.
And it doesn't look
like 2 frames a second.
It looks kind of crazy, right? That's not.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah. Like who would turn that on? Probably the people that love emojis, and they would probably love the blurred background. Yeah, so I mean, Jitsi's okay. I could use Jitsi. It's not a horrible.
So just looking here, in one of the menus, there's a mute everyone option. I don't know if it means that if you're like in a big meeting, like Big Daddy Linux Live, you can actually force mute everyone. I don't even know if that's possible, so I'm just gonna go test that real quick, if you guys don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just checking out that obviously we can toggle the view here where we can focus on whoever's speaking or have a grid view. If I wanted to mute everybody, if I click mute everyone, does it actually mute everyone? Yeah, it kind of works. Can I unmute everybody, or do I?
That seems to have worked just fine.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go. Mute everybody
you
and
can
let.
Actually, start a live stream with this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and also record.
Yeah, there was a start streaming button somewhere in the settings. I did see that. I just did everything through the YouTube studio. But yeah, I think, yeah, there's a start live stream option, start recording option. Yeah, I just do everything in OBS anyway.
Oh.
But a lot of people, you know, that don't use OBS, obviously.
Well, Derek, you're muted.
Yeah.
You're muted. You're muted.
Wow. Derek, you're muted.
Derek.
Dude.
All right. I guess when I click mute everyone else, it mutes me too. So, like on one of you.
Good system.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and people are asking, yeah, I did name the URL, jitsi.whatever/DT as a strong password. People always make fun of my 2-letter passwords. And they assume the 2 letters are DT, but it may not be. I will neither confirm nor deny that my password is DT.
I just invited you.
What was that?
Oh, nothing.
No, that's fine. Yeah, mainly I'm glad you guys joined me on camera here. Again, we were just testing this out. I wanted to get some folks on screen here. You guys feel free to chat about anything.
Yeah, this is like very good. Just no account needed. Like quick start type of program.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feature.
Yeah, and that's another.
It always leads to fun when people find the actual link.
Yeah.
Well, like today I had a Zoom call with one of my classes, and they did not prompt me for any account information, which was unheard of.
Yeah, because Zoom you have to have an account. But
yeah.
On your image,
I don't.
If you right click and choose flip.
Oh, yeah, you can.
What was that?
I hear heavy breathing.
You can right-click on your image and flip it.
Ah, well, that solves one of my major issues. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I cannot stand that mirrored image, because I would have to fix that in some way if I was recording myself. I mean, obviously we're streaming now, but it would just look weird otherwise. Especially if I was just recording myself in Zoom or myself and one other person. People would wonder why the other person looks straight and DT's backwards. Yeah, you don't need an account to join a call in Zoom. That's correct, but you would need an account to start one. I don't think I needed any kind of account to actually start this. I could be wrong about that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I have
you
used.
don't need any accounts like.
Well, I have used Jitsi in the past, so maybe there were some config files on my system. Maybe I had signed up for something, but I don't think I needed a type of password or anything.
So is this like a new piece of software, or has it been around for a
while?
while?
Jitsi's been around. Yeah. It's been around for a while, at least 2-3 years. Because I've used it before. I've actually done live streams with it, similar to what we're doing now. I know about 6 months ago, I typically do a once a month stream for my patrons where they join me on a video call and, it's streamed live on YouTube. And we use Zoom for it, and it's once a month. And 1 month I did an update on my system, and for some reason Zoom was broken. So I just told everybody, because the stream was already 10 minutes late starting. I was like, let's jump on Jitsi. Let's try Jitsi. So we've used Jitsi before. It's just, I don't know. I'll go back later to.
So you think it's gonna get any traction over Zoom?
Well, I mean, a lot of people use Jitsi. Like, there's probably millions of people that use Jitsi on a regular basis. It doesn't get the kind of user base that something like Zoom and Teams and Skype and things like that get. But there are a lot of people that use Jitsi.
Well, see, I didn't really get why Zoom is so popular. Like, it just seemed like I didn't hear about it before the pandemic. I don't think a lot of other people have.
Yeah, I've been using Zoom for a couple of years. Well, really since starting the YouTube channel, because if you're looking
good marketing.
Well, no, it wasn't even marketing. It's just when you're using it, like the video quality and the audio quality on the alternatives weren't good. Hangouts, everybody used Google Hangouts, and Google Hangouts just looks horrible. The image quality, just everything about Hangouts was just garbage. I like Zoom better than Skype, talking about proprietary software, but none of the open source alternatives were really a viable alternative.
Well, have you tried Teams yet? Because it's supposed to replace Skype.
I have not. But I don't want to. Like, if I was going to replace Zoom, why would I? Why go to Microsoft's? Right.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think anyone wants to use Teams.
Right. Like, the point of getting away from Zoom is I'm looking for a free and all open source alternative. Otherwise, I'll just stick to Zoom. I'm not going to switch from Zoom to Teams. I gotta defeat.
I just saw an ad they released that says pretty much. The pandemic is being saved because of the communication allowed through Teams. And it's just,
wow.
It's a pretty nice looking ad.
Wow. Yeah, Microsoft is saving the world, huh?
Again.
Well, that's a good bit of marketing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody's asking in the chat, hey, DT, what do you think is the best operating system for an old, weak laptop? Linux. Okay. That's all why are you asking me that? Did you think I was going to say Windows? Or?
Preferably one that
Macintosh, Sierra.
Yeah.
Snow Leopard.
Yeah.
Snow Leopard.
Haiku.
Actually, Haiku would run great on an old laptop, but I don't think it wouldn't be a great user experience.
Well, have you ever tried Anycore? Or whatever, like the really small one is.
Oh, TinyCore? Yeah, I have. That's not a great experience for a Linux distro. You wouldn't want to live in TinyCore. I mean, I guess people do, but there's no real repository of software. Like that's a tough one.
About big blue button. What's your
The big blue button? I don't know what the big blue button is. I have no idea what he's punching. He's got a hand up on his... This is why we do everything live. You never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more interesting that way.
Yeah.
I see you guys are using the chat feature here. Yeah, the latency is so bad. It sounds like an Atari game. Yeah.
You kind of look like an Atari game. My connection isn't that great.
Really? Because
squares.
on my end, everything looks okay. You guys all look good. I haven't noticed any issues with the sound, stuttering, or anything. But you know, one of the things why I'm recording this is I'm actually going to go back and watch this later because I want to see what the image quality and the audio quality is like. Because if it's complete garbage, then you know I'm just going to stick with Zoom for a little while. You know, I'll keep coming back to Jitsi every few months and trying it out, see if it's improved. But
I could definitely use this over Zoom.
yeah,
when it's my choice.
If I was just chatting with friends and family, I don't do that though. But if that's what I was doing, yeah, I would definitely use this over Discord or Zoom. But you know, for recording,
I have I have an Electron application installed. There's this you can install Electron as like a desktop app, and it's pretty nice. Because on Firefox, it's kind of not that great.
Yeah.
So have you guys found any Electron apps that actually like work decently, like at all?
I
Because
tend
like everyone I've seen are kind of garbage.
well,
They're slow. They're large.
the ones I've
That
tried,
just comes
no.
with using Electron mode.
Yeah. I mean, Atom is slow. I hate Atom. Like it takes 20 seconds for Atom to launch. Stacer, there's a program called Stacer that's like a system cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
It's not horrible, but you don't use it all the time. So it's not like a text editor where you're opening up a text editor all the time. Etcher, you guys know Etcher, isn't that Electron? I love Etcher for burning USBs.
It should be.
Yeah, it's not a
Etcher's
bad.
the best program I've used for that.
Using Electron mode.
Yeah. I mean, Atom is slow. I
And
hate
somebody's is not on earbuds, so your audio's bleeding through. So
Too many people here to find them now.
Mute.
Can you actually hear me?
Yeah.
Discord unironically uses like 2 gigabytes of RAM for me.
Really? You know what? I haven't checked. I'm using about 6 gigs of RAM right now, but I'm streaming, so it's yeah. But typically when I'm streaming, I'm pushing 7-8 gigs of RAM usage, just doing anything. So 6 gigs is normal. I have 64 gigs of RAM though, so that might be why it
that
pushes
might be
up
a deciding factor.
Right. My system might use a little more RAM than some.
So is there any so I've always wondered this. Like, why do you have such a powerful computer? Is it mostly just rendering? Like rendering videos?
Oh God, yeah. Like if this. Why do I have a Threadripper? Is so I don't wait 8 hours for a video to render. Yeah, like it would take.
Recording and
my fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, I knew the CPU was good for rendering, but does the RAM like help with it too?
The RAM doesn't really play much, but the CPU and the video card definitely help in a big way. Also, streaming. Right now, I am streaming, and I am not using GPU encoding. This is CPU. My Threadripper is responsible for this live stream right now. Very few CPUs are going to handle that. Most of them are going to choke, and the stream is going to buffer. Most of them, it won't even pretend like it'll work. Like if you hit start streaming, it's going to say, "Oh no." So the Threadripper, if I opened up HTOP right now, it's probably not even half of my the processes using 100%, and the rest are 0%. So not even close to maxing out the Threadripper.
So does anyone actually use like bash chop?
No, it's I wouldn't use it because it's slow and bloated, but it was interesting. If you want to learn shell scripting or you're interested in that sort of thing, like that 3,500 line script is interesting to read. Because you'd be surprised if you know a little shell scripting and grep set and all. Like you can do anything practically on Linux. But should you? No, you shouldn't write a 3,500 line bash script. You should have wrote that in Python like a normal human being.
Yeah.
But the guy that wrote that, he was trying to learn shell scripting. That was the point of it.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, then you wouldn't be considered elite. That's the whole point of Linux, right? Being considered a hacker.
And that's the only reason why I'm running Gentoo.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm running OpenBSD.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a gripe with BSD, but that's probably just because I'm like bad at BSD. Is I could barely get OpenBSD to run, and I could barely get FreeBSD. I could get FreeBSD to run like on my old ThinkPad. Okay, so
it took many tries. It took many tries. I have a T400S. It was about a month of working on it every day. Yeah, it was not. It was
my T400 is my only Windows machine.
I haven't run Windows in 12 years on anything.
Imagine having Windows installed on hardware.
Yeah. Like I'm such a Windows noob.
Unless you play video games.
Yeah, well, I have like I think 100 gig Windows VM that I run under KVM and QEMU just for up-tier software. Or if I have to launch like desktop Zoom, then I'll launch it through there. But,
I pretty much just to keep it to add Super Nintendo ROMs to my Mini.
I haven't run Windows in 12 years. Yeah. Anything. So whoever is not wearing earbuds, please mute yourself. Good Lord. If you do not have headphones on, mute yourself. Woo. All right. Because you are... Yeah, because if you do not have earbuds or headphones on, the sound from your computer speakers bleeds through the microphone, and we get a feedback problem, and it sounds horrible. So.
It's surprising how many people don't realize this.
Yeah. Well, most people have probably never, been on a video chat. Well,
Yes, so have you ever talked over a phone though?
If you use in desktop, the sound is to dissing.
Yeah.
If I I use this Jitsi in Linux Lite version 4.8, and if I use in desktop, it's not good in the sound. So I use this Jitsi from the Android. So if I want to share screen, many of my friends can share screen too, and I use share screen in desktop. So the sound from the Android and the sharing from the laptop, actually in my new slide. So it's good, I think.
Yeah, we actually use Linux Jitsi at work.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, we've done it for a while. We have a SIP server hooked up to it. It hooks into our ticketing system. So I mean, most of it's like actual calls and things like that. But so we haven't. I actually have never used the meeting function like this before. This is pretty cool. But yeah, Jitsi's pretty great, pretty stable.
Yeah. One thing about Jitsi is if you care about encryption, it's not encrypted. So.
Oh, good.
But because like I do these live, so I don't really care.
So it's fine. Zoom is encrypted either. So
right. Yeah, so.
So a video saying that Jitsi was actually encrypted.
No, I'm sorry, I couldn't catch all of that. Something about you thought the video was encrypted.
Say it one more time.
DJ.
Yeah. Let me finish it for you.
Yeah. Well, here's somebody saying DT hello. We heard you, so your audio is working. Those of you trying to talk and wondering why nobody's hearing you, you're all muted. So I muted everybody earlier because I couldn't figure out who was not wearing earbuds and was causing us the audio issues. So.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. So it's just easier to mute everybody and let you guys figure it out.
One thing I did notice is when you're muted, it does show a little thing in the bottom corner to actually say that you're muted and trying to speak, which is kind of nice to see.
That's cool.
Yeah, like a little blue.
If I mute
megahorn.
myself, and I'm trying to speak.
Well, okay, so I'm on the mobile client, and I just noticed one thing. I can see every single person's video feed except for DT's.
I don't have a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's not a deal breaker for me.
No.
So you can see DT.
I turned off mine because I'm in quarantine with 6 children. I only unmute my mic when I have to speak.
DT.
Yep.
Yeah, I got 5 other people in the room, so it gets a bit noisy.
And somebody was saying DT was.
I uninstall Windows to install Arch, like your video say, and I cannot boot.
Yeah, but that Arch video I made has caused
like
me
9 months old.
Well,
yeah, it's pretty outdated.
Well, the problem was the Arch guys. I guess they didn't like so many noobs installing Arch after I made that video because it got a lot of views. So 2 weeks after I put that video out, they changed the install process. The reason
they slimmed down.
Yeah.
Like
the reason it won't boot for you. Did you install the Linux kernel? Did you do a sudo pacman -S Linux? I know it's weird. You have to install Linux in Arch Linux, but you have to install Linux now, the kernel.
Yeah, actually, it's not that weird.
Also remember to install the Linux firmware.
It's a
it's also
Gen 2
missing.
version 6.
Gen 2.
There's also Anarchy Linux. It's a pretty nice little kind of easy to use installer for Arch, just stock Arch. If you want to check that out.
I'm gonna make a. I'm gonna make a.
That's what I
Arch
use to install Arch, just to get it up and running within the first, just to have an OS running. I used Anarchy to get Arch.
There are many Arch installers. You can get Arch running using Arca Linux D and then do whatever you want. You don't need to use scripts after that. You can just use whatever you want. It is basically a Arch Linux after the standard install. It only has, I believe, 1 or 2 additional repositories from Arca Linux, which can be easily removed or left. Because it is
I mean,
quite
Arch is very simple to install in the first place, as long as you follow the guide in the wiki.
Even my video, there's just a few steps missing, and they're simple enough. You need to install the kernel. I mentioned a lot of what I did on video was done in either Nano or Vim. Neither Nano or Vim are installed now. You have to install those.
The point was that the group that was used, the base group, was getting too broad. The
it was
base
slimmed
is
down.
supposed to be just the base, so they put the kernel out of it because not everyone uses the mainline kernel. Some people use Zen kernel. Some people make their own kernel. So
all right. All right, let's see if I can open up a new room for the idiot that kicked us all out. Well, how do I copy this? Let's see if that works. Try that. Hello? Well, that's why we test out Jitsi. So,
apparently can kick you want whenever you want.
And I had been told about that in the past.
Yeah. I can kick right now, kick anyone. No, I'm not.
It's a bit odd that non-host can kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone can kick.
Yeah.
Oh, and now your video feed is back. All right, well that's fixed. That's good.
So, is there any way to prevent people from kicking?
Need to check if you can do
have no
moderator or something like that.
Say I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, there's no settings
It
really
should-
in this thing. I mean, I'm looking. There's nothing
Well,
here.
it seems really weird that like anyone that randomly joins can just kick everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like I said-
like you would think there'd be a hierarchy.
Yeah. Like I said, Jitsi's a little weird. That's why I've never really used it in the past. It's
He
like
kicked me a second ago.
Yeah, I noticed that feature earlier, and I was worried somebody was going to kick you.
well, I mean, that's
Something
why
I
we're
will say about Jitsi, it doesn't have nearly as good performance as Zoom
No,
does.
not that
Zoom is
good.
way easier on the CPU.
I just found out what
Oh no.
It's a free for all.
Oh no.
Well, like I said, I just wanted to tell
Easy
you.
passwords are a good idea.
He says he wants to speak.
you cannot be.
He's back.
He's gonna tell us to install dot files. I saw the last chat.
Why can any non-host kick? This is a little bit weird.
Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any way to prevent that. Either way.
No, it's not. There is no way to prevent that.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to tell us that he runs Arch Linux.
DT, what was your first distro?
Now, typically, I wouldn't run one of these where anybody could join anyway. So.
God, someone tried to do it.
So
Texas
expecting
speech?
raiders to come, honestly.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that the girl?
Yeah. So if I was going to use Jitsi, it would be somebody I invited, people I invited, or it'd be like my patrons. Like it wouldn't just be. We wouldn't have any trolls on the stream normally. So. But the point of this is to test it out. So I'm actually kind of glad the guy banned everybody.
Requiring the password might fix something.
I hear the girl.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is the winning people.
Maybe
by
you
the
can
way.
use your super
Okay, so I got one question.
Can use the
So have you guys ever tried Artix?
Yes.
Which is just
Yeah, I
Arch
tried
without
Artix
SSD.
one time.
Gentoo.
Yeah. Well, you can use OpenID.
Now, one interesting thing is now that we've gotten so many people on the screen, where in the hell did DT go? Because I don't see him.
Probably not pushed down.
Oh,
Scroll bar's
it
really buggy for
scrolls.
me.
I see. There's a scroll bar. And okay, I see. That was weird. I was like, where did I go? Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many people max it holds. It holds at least 26. And that's plenty. I mean, I would never have this many people on video. Yeah.
And this is just on their public server?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why actually we can kick anyone we want by anyone.
As a matter of fact, yeah, if you guys want to test
if you have
out
your own instance, you will be able to set who is the moderator. But since
Yeah.
they're public instance,
Uh-oh.
Oh my God! Second time.
There we go.
Also, it seems like
My
someone
God.
else can change the password as well. So yeah, here we go. Now everyone's gonna go.
Yeah, somebody's doing something behind the scenes.
Oh, that's fine. This was, like I said, just a test stream anyway. Now, would I ever use this? No, I wouldn't. So, all right. Well, this was fun. I do want to thank everybody that did join me on camera. We had about 26, 27 people there on camera. There at the end. Really, I don't know. I can't use this for what I do. The quality is not as good as Zoom. Audio, videos, not quite as good. I didn't like the fact that the chat was public. Obviously, the fact that anybody can kick anybody out of the room. Now, if it's a private chat, which is mostly what I do, you know, if I'm recording, I just don't invite the entire world to come on up and be with me on camera because you get crazy people. So I don't mind that too much. But overall, yeah, it's just not there. It's not even close to the quality of Zoom yet. So at least for the stuff I do on this channel, I got to keep using Zoom. If there's a better option than Jitsi, maybe, but Jitsi is definitely not an option right now. Yeah, DT, this is a really bad piece of software, says Big Pod in the YouTube chat. Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree. Every time I take a look at it, some things it gets right, but there's a lot to it that makes me scratch my head. Like, I really don't know why people can kick everybody out of the room. But again, if you're just doing a private chat, that's not an issue. I really don't like that the chat window is not in a separate window. That kind of bugs me. I don't like that. And there's no real settings in Jitsi. When I'm trying to change the settings, there's... like if I go down here and I choose settings, basically it's just what camera and mic are you using. Other than that, I mean, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. I really just wanted to do a very short stream, but we've been going for about 47 minutes now. So, yeah, we got a little bit done here, though. I tried it out. I don't think I'm going to use Jitsi for anything, though. I think this is the last time I use Jitsi, at least for a few months. Maybe 6 months from now, I'll try it again, see if it got any better. But for now, it's just not worth it. Before I go, I'm going to flash some names across the screen. These are my patrons. These folks, these ladies and gentlemen support my work over on Patreon. I want to thank these guys. And I want to thank all you guys for hanging out in the YouTube chat and making this kind of fun. I know this is a bit of a strange stream, but hope you enjoyed it. All right, guys. Peace.